Hello, everyone, and welcome to the On Air podcast with your hosts, Stephen Hudson, Paul O'Flaherty, and David Gall. The On Air podcast is the official podcast for Geek Dimensions and everyone living a geek's life. Good evening, everybody. This is Stephen Hudson from Geek Dimensions podcast, along with my good friends Paul O'Flaherty and the recovering David Gall from a long weekend. We're back for another week of just having some fun with geek stuff that's going on around the world and around the web. And but first, before we get going, David, I hear you have a new gig.
I do have a new gig. I start. What is it, Tuesday? Yes, thank you. So I got the call over the holiday, and the call and the offer. But it's pretty straightforward. It's a company that does VPS, web hosting, server space, blah blah blah, and they need some Linux people. And I will be one of them.
Well, I'm very glad for you because I know you've been out of work for a little while on your own choice, but so it's good to see that you're back in the work scene again.
As somebody with a deep interest and need, and always has a need for better and better hosts, is it a company I should be interested in?
Maybe. I don't want to give the name on podcast yet.
Okay.
In case things don't work out.
Good, solid. Now, Paul.
Yes.
How's your week been? Because we got to cover all the bases.
Week's been busy.
Yeah.
It was a good holiday weekend. Hung out with kids. Took them to the beach a few times. Got some really nasty sunburn. It's been good.
Okay, let me understand. Like, you guys were lucky enough that July the 4th fell on the Friday, which means you guys got a long weekend, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and back to work on Monday, right?
Yes.
Well, we up here had Canada Day on July the 1st.
You mean the two of you up there?
Which was a Tuesday?
Yes. It was on a Tuesday, which meant no long weekend.
And what? You want a cookie?
No, I just feel like we got ripped off.
Well, all 32 million of you got ripped off.
Well, I'm sure that you can walk to the end of the street and complain.
But complaining doesn't get you anywhere. For example, if you were to get on a plane or try to get on a plane and they told you to power up your phone and it wouldn't power up, and they turn around and said, well, you can't get on the plane, would you complain?
Yeah. Because
I would be pissed.
Unless they can show that my phone is an actual threat, just because the battery is low doesn't mean that my phone is a threat. This is the tinfoil hat part of me. Look, we all know that this whole TSA security screening stuff is more pantomime than it is functional security. And the tinfoil hat part of me wants to say, you know what, they're going to collect thousands upon thousands of phones every day, and they're going to make a pretty penny recycling or selling these things.
Yeah, I traveled over the holiday and went through the millimeter wave scan, the whole nine, once through Birmingham and then another time in New York on the way back. And in both cases, I go through the millimeter wave, I turn around, and there are these red boxes, one on my chest and one in my pocket, of which there is nothing on my chest or in my pocket. And they patted me down and let me go. So I don't think these lazy bastards are about to start checking people's cell phones because it just takes too much time. And if they do, it's certainly not going to be at any airport that I've been to.
Well, does it really make any sense? Like, okay, it's not just the TSA, but also Britain is bringing this policy into effect as well.
The 51st state.
Hey, you got to get them back in line. We're up for that position, okay? Let's not forget that. But does it make any sense really? Like to say, look, if your device does not power up, you can't get on the plane?
No.
What does that mean? What is their theory? Is that a dead phone is more likely to be nefarious?
Yeah, it's not that you can't get on the plane. It's that your device can't get on the plane, so they get to keep your device. Okay? Now, basically the idea is, yeah, if it doesn't power up, then it's more likely to be a bomb in a phone casing than anything else. But any first-year electrical student in their first month could very easily tell you that if you want a phone to power up that has a bomb in it, you just put in a different battery. You know, if all the thing has to do is have enough juice in it to get through check-in when you turn it on, yeah, you've got tons of room on the inside. In fact, you can take out most of the insides of your phone, have a display on it that lights up, maybe even semi-functional display that lights up, and have lots of room in there for a nice bit of C4 or Semtex.
Yeah, the bigger problem is the scanners themselves have been proven to be total shit. And people have taken and smuggled in all sorts of things to simply prove this point over and over again. I don't think the threat is from cell phones, honestly.
The threat's from nothing like that, right?
Well, okay.
I've ranted about this many, many times, but I'm about to go off one down now again, right? Here's the thing. You stop terrorists getting on an airplane. Right, fine. What you have done now is you've created an airport with 10 times as many people as should ever be in there because they're all in bloody queues. If I want to kill a lot of people, I'm going to walk into that airport with a bloody bag full of explosives, go stand in that queue, and take out way more people than I ever could with an aircraft.
I don't know if it has the same satisfaction to a suicide bomber. There's something about a plane going into something.
At that point, I'm just thinking about my 41 virgins, okay?
And they can satisfy their one desire to fly before they die.
Hey, Bobby, can you fly? But, I mean, it's just, this whole airport security thing is a pantomime made to make people feel safe. It annoys people, but people would rather be annoyed and feel safe, even though there's no actual
That's a thing.
National security than anything else. It's a pantomime. It's a joke. It's an entire joke.
If you're seriously going to be nefarious about this, why not just go through TSA pre-check? Skip the millimeter wave scanner. Just walk with you and your mom right on in, because you're a somewhat business-oriented looking individual, somebody who can pass for just a good old civilian.
If you can get your money together, you know, to pay for the equipment, to build your bomb and all that sort of stuff, you can pay for a pass that just lets you right past.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the conversation of fighting crime or evildoers, I don't quite understand how this works, but apparently the police now have a dog that they are using to combat child porn. The premise being that this dog can sniff out thumb drives, USB drives that are hidden.
He can smell your evil intentions a mile off.
Yes. Because the headline sounds like that the dog can sniff specifically hard drives with child porn on it.
Yeah.
Which I was like, well, goddamn, that's pretty impressive. But apparently he just sniffs metal.
I looked at the headline and I had exactly the same reaction. I was like, wow, they've got dogs that can sniff specific types of data? What?
Well, they can sniff different types of cancer, but that's a different story altogether.
That's not data.
Yeah, I know. But really? Do we believe this shit? Like, how many people are going to be suddenly accosted by a dog who's checking for their thumb drive in their pants pocket? You know, like, what? No, this makes no sense at all.
It's just one more thing to intimidate you. Because here's the thing, right? Shouldn't the thumb drive have shown up on that scanner that you went through? It's metallic, right?
So here's
shouldn't it have thrown up when you went through the thingy?
Well, no, okay.
What's Dave doing?
I don't know. What are you doing, Dave?
My brother's trying to get in touch with me.
Oh, yeah.
But no,
yeah, I didn't see any mention of the child porn in the actual interview with the handler and the dog. It's like the article just kind of said, oh, this could be potentially used by somebody who doesn't know how to destroy a hard drive? Like,
dude, child porn. Headlines.
So that's the secret.
Have a big magnet. If you want your child porn, part of that get up is a big magnet. And a hammer. It's got to be.
Or go on. Yeah. Well, we've talked this story today. Move on, Stephen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got sidetracked by potato salad.
And it's just. Oh, I thought you were going to be watching. That was.
I didn't think we were
walking in for a second.
Well, no, because Dave and I have this thing about Kickstarter things that are stupid, like Star Citizen, but there is not just potato salad, but there is regular garden salad being kickstarted, and they're getting stupid amounts of money. Like, what is with people? I don't understand this.
It had to happen. Eventually, somebody was going to post something dumb. It's going to explode, and people are going to have to post more dumb shit to try and cash in. To what exactly? Potato salad? But apparently, he's going to live stream the making of his potato salad, and on top of that, hasn't even made potato salad before. It's a first timer, so this should be very interesting. Is it 15,000 or 40,000 interesting? No, but it's...
Yeah, apparently now he's made 45,000 on Kickstarter.
This brings us back to the previous podcast. See, Stephen, you should start a Kickstarter and see how much money you can raise for bubbling.
No, thank you. And listen, if I'm raising money, I got to be careful that I don't use a VPN to transfer stuff around, because apparently they're getting really hit hard by the entertainment industry. What would you say? Applying pressure to cash or internet money transfer companies. Cashew, which is apparently is a European-based system like PayPal, is now spending any support or handling any processing payments for VPNs in Europe.
Yeah, this is more of this crap. Let's protect the dying business model by putting pressure on money management companies to stop other business models in their tracks. People use VPNs for a lot more than just piracy.
Or even doing more nefarious things than downloading stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, to assume that everything done behind a VPN is nefarious is a little ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I've used a VPN in the past. I think we've all used VPNs in the past.
I'm a solid user of VPN pretty much all the time.
So what would happen if whoever you or however you pay for your VPN service came to you and said, "I'm sorry, we can't take your money anymore because we've got this policy in place"?
I'll have to go to another VPN service.
That's the thing. Find one that accepts. Just out of curiosity,
when I'm in a restaurant, I mean, you don't ever want your stuff like in the raw. You know what I mean? When you're at a Starbucks or anywhere, or even working in a client's office, anything that you want to do that involves your own personal data should not be going over somebody else's network. Ever, ever, ever.
No. Tips from your neighborhood network administrators. Never, ever, ever do that. Well, but out of curiosity, so how are you paying for your VPN, Paul?
PayPal.
Okay, PayPal. So it's tied to your name and your bank account. They knew exactly who you are. So to you, it's not really a big deal that you're not paying anonymously. So the question is, if it was easy, would you pay anonymously, or do you even care?
I wouldn't really care because we're not doing anything with it. And in fact, the service that we use only keeps track of the fact that we use the service, but they don't actually keep any records whatsoever of what you use on the service.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And they're actually based out of Canada.
Pro XPN?
No.
Oh.
Can you believe I can't remember the name of it right now?
Way to go, Paul.
It'll come to me before the end of the show.
All right.
But yeah, they're based out of Canada. And you know what? I would dare say, for anybody at all who connects remotely, who needs access to their files from anywhere, or just, checks their webmails from networks that they do not control, you need a VPN. It's not optional anymore. You just need one. Period.
Yeah. Well, I use Pro XPN. As a matter of fact,
if you're a gamer, right, and if you play any of the games that update via BitTorrent protocol, then there's a chance that your ISP may throttle the speed at which you get those updates because they block or throttle the BitTorrent protocol. So what do? Run it through your VPN. It's encrypted. They don't know what protocol it is. They don't block it. They don't slow it down.
Well, what you do is you get a frickin' seed box, and then your ISP only sees FTP traffic, and they can go kiss it.
That's it. That's all they ever see. You know.
I think somebody may have or should have suggested this to the BBC recently, because apparently their Doctor Who scripts have leaked.
Yeah, I doubt this was, packet interception, but something got intercepted.
It was Miamian interception or something.
Obviously, somebody has access to the TARDIS. So for season 8 of Doctor Who are in the wild. Go to your favorite BitTorrent site, any BitTorrent site at all.
And you'll find them.
Search for Doctor Who scripts, and you will find at least 2 seeded torrents of the scripts. I'm not downloading them. They're there. They're available. I'm a major fan, but I do not want the spoilers.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that.
If you download these and you read them and you post about it anywhere, you are a dickhead that should be castrated and forced to eat your own penis.
That's pretty much how I feel about the Game of Thrones. I've read the books, people. I don't even want to know. Unless I ask, don't tell me.
In the case
I live with somebody who's read all the books.
Of course.
She's good enough not to give me spoilers, but she's bad enough that she complains when it's not exactly the same as the book, and then she teases me about what's coming up. She's like, "Oh, I can't wait for next episode. It's going to be awesome." And how do you know? Because I know what they're going to do. Are you going to tell me? You got to read the books. No.
Nope.
Time.
Okay.
I read book 1, I read book 2, and then I was like, I've got to read more stuff in my life than just George R.R. Martin and pray that he doesn't die before he finishes the series.
Did you see that when he was asked very recently about the fact that he might die before the final book? And there's this picture of him around the web going like this. I'm indexing finger.
Apparently he has a plan. So the books will
continue without him?
Continue without him or something.
That's kind of a horrendous thought. Okay.
Speaking of, this is somewhat related, but have you heard about the new Pink Floyd album?
What?
Okay,
No?
so all right, so what it was is when they were recording Division Bell, there were these were just sessions that were going on at the same time, and apparently, those sessions are they were kind of dug up. David Gilmour has added some lyrics to some of the stuff, and it's being released as a new Pink Floyd album. Thought that was pretty cool.
I want it. I don't care. I want it. Okay, let's...
Don't want, though?
What?
BlackBerry phone.
Oh, God.
Speaking of blast from the past.
Has to be the most unpocket-friendly phone I have ever seen.
But it'll fit in your shirt pocket because it's square.
It's not.
This is
I
fake,
guess so.
right?
It's somewhat square.
This is like a late April Fool's joke.
It's
right?
got to be. Okay, the image that we're looking at, folks, and if you go to this, we'll put the post in the show notes. There is the iPhone and the BlackBerry and what is that? The Samsung?
Looks like the Galaxy 5.
Yeah, Galaxy 5. The iPhone and the Galaxy 5 are bookending this square thing with a keypad with a BlackBerry logo on it.
Do you know what it looks like?
It looks like they took a phone and then they used the scale tool and just stretched it out to the left and right. It just made it wider. It's not the dimensions. It literally, it just looks like you just pulled the sides away from each other.
It looks like they took a second generation Kindle and turned it into a phone.
Like, what the hell is this
Except
thing?
not as pretty.
How do you hold it? So it's basically, the same with you turn your iPhone on its side, your GS5 on its side, and then try and hold it.
But who uses a screen in that, like...
I don't know. The internet's, it's already adapted to mobile friendliness. Like, this is apparently for spreadsheeting, as the production or the promo image will suggest, for somebody who wants to do some serious spreadsheeting.
What if you want to do some serious spreadsheeting? Wouldn't you use an even more suitable device?
Like a laptop?
Or a laptop.
Or if you must do it while you're on the go,
a tablet,
which would give you more screen real estate than this.
I like BlackBerry's argument is that innovation is dead, and so BlackBerry is going to save us.
Innovation is dead, so we're going to go back in time with our screen shapes.
Yeah, get the hell out of here, BlackBerry. Take your shitty Storm with you. The click screens. God.
Well, there's one thing it's good for, now that I look at it. Because there's another service out there that hasn't figured out yet that things aren't square. Instagram. Because when you take a picture, it doesn't matter what picture you take on what device, right? Instagram always makes you crop it square. So they're obviously in cahoots with BlackBerry. BlackBerry will be the only device that Instagram pictures display on full screen.
I'm thinking that's a little bit too tinfoily.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't. But see, the point is that we're having to seriously reach to figure out who the hell would want this phone. As with really a BlackBerry in the year 2014, you have to be insane, or it's just been given to you by your company.
Let's chalk this one down as one that Microsoft will be able to really make fun of.
There we go.
Okay, since we've got the tinfoil partly on, let's step into Mars and UFOs. Oh, God. That says Paul. But apparently, there is video.
There's a lot of this apparently word in this podcast.
There's no video. It's not a video. It's just a photo with a white frickin' pixel. A white pixel.
But you gotta know there are UFO conspiracists out there who are just drooling all over this as proof there is
all over it. They're masturbating furiously in their parents' basement in absolute ecstasy that we have proof of UFOs and it's undeniable. And where's my Fox Mulder picture? Because I need to. Yeah, right.
I used to have that poster. Right over there.
Okay, anyway, NASA has come out and said, look, guys, settle your butts down. This is just what we call a hot pixel that is a result of one of the cameras that they're using on the rover.
Yeah, it appears on one camera, and it happens a couple of times a week in the pictures that they take. And it's the same pixel all the time. And it's basically this thing is getting overheated.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it. It's not a UFO.
No, people, I don't even know if the conspiracy theorists are excited. I usually will visit godlikeproductions.com at least, once every week or two. And that's generally where the crazies tend to hang out. During the Malaysian flight missing, it was just, the site just exploded with theories. It was just great to read. Absolutely hilarious. And there just hasn't really been a whole lot of talk about it. I just don't think they care. The top red threads are things about, mostly political in nature. But I don't know.
It's a non-issue, but
it's a non-issue, just like the new Thief movie.
Okay, now they said with this that they are going back to the original game as the basis for the movie.
Good, because if they do the last game, I'd want to shoot myself because that sucked.
Did you play it?
I have it. Yeah, it's balls. I gave it a fair run for a few days. And I've never picked it up since.
It's definitely not a whole lot to it, unfortunately. And more unfortunately is that the Hitman movie guy is apparently responsible for this.
Yeah, the
Hitman movie, dude, 4 out of 10 at best.
They're supposed to be remaking that one as well. Agent 47 is supposedly going to live again.
Who are they going to have Timothy Oliphant again? Has he done anything since that?
No.
Oh yeah, he's no. Wait, whoa! You mean you have not watched Justified?
No.
No.
Oh man, make sure. I know it's on Netflix. I'm not sure if it's Netflix US, but you've got to watch Justified. It is one of the best series, and he is awesome in that show. He is absolutely fantastic in that show. I'm giving that a 5-star. You guys have got to watch recommendation. Seriously.
And here's my recommendation for the week. Do not buy Thief. It's on special offer on Xbox right now for the download version. Do not buy it. Do not be fooled into parting with your money.
How can any offer look special compared to a Steam sale? I'm just curious.
Well, EA's trying it with their Origin, a free game once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah, you got to waive that. Steam is still the king of sales. Did you see the Humble Bundle?
The Humble Bundle. Oh, where's my food?
No, this is my supper. Shut up. The newest Humble Bundle. I don't know what they're doing with this lately, but when the Humble Bundle first started, you could get 10 or 12 really good games for whatever you wanted to pay. Now they're getting into this tiered shit.
Yeah.
Well, they figured out they can make more money from it,
And it used to be it was $6 to get to the high tier. The new one, $20.
Yeah, I know.
Bucks. And this is stuff that you're about paying what you would pay if you were to buy this off Steam when it was on sale. And granted, the games themselves are great, but I don't know. You can get BioShock Infinite a lot cheaper than $20 and XCOM and both of them together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we've kind of wrapped up the stories for this.
No, we haven't.
Oh, what, Paul? What have you done? What?
There's The Flash.
Oh, yes. Of course, we cannot, explain how we came into possession of this show since it hasn't hit TV yet. But both Paul and I have managed to watch the pilot episode of Flash, the new CW series, or spin-off from the Arrow?
Yeah, I think everybody on the internet has watched it at this point, or at least most people have watched it at this point. I mean, it's everywhere.
What did you think, Paul?
You know what? It's not bad. I mean, as an origin story, it's pretty good. It's dealing with the Barry Allen version of the Flash.
There's news out today that one of the co-stars in the show is going to be Firestorm, the guy who plays Firestorm, or who is one half of Firestorm character. He's going to be in the show as well.
Okay. Well, of course, spoiler alert. But I mean, if you have any interest in it here, at the end of the episode, the Flash, Barry Allen, runs off to meet the Arrow to get advice as to how to be a superhero. I don't know. It was good. Do you know what? The only problem with it is that the Flash's origin story is kind of interesting, but they I don't know. They could have spent more time doing the origin story and less time. The show needed 2 hours for a pilot. It needed 2 hours, not 1 hour, to cram in everything they were trying to cram in. You know what I mean? Because you've got straight away to introduce. You've got your man from Star Labs, and he's all of a sudden they're setting him up as the father figure, but then 8 minutes later they're showing that he may be deceitful and evil and blah, blah, blah. They set up his Peter Parker can't be in love with the girl thing. And use another love interest in the same heartbeat. You know what I mean? They tried to cram in way too much into the first episode. But if they can settle it down, I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this goes. I actually tested this episode on my kids.
Yeah, what'd they say?
They liked it.
Yeah.
Brendan, who is probably the hardest to please among the children, just said, "That's awesome." So
normally I would have totally dismissed The Flash, but I will definitely check this one out.
It's like Paul said. It was too short for an origin story. They could have done a 2-hour pilot, and I think they should have. But in light of that, I still liked what I saw. I still think it has potential. But what's interesting is, by him going to the Arrow, they're connecting a tie-in between the two shows.
Yeah, and that develop, and that's going to continue to develop.
There's also talk.
Also, rumors that the Flash is going to be in the Superman Batman movie.
I didn't catch that one.
What network is this on? Flash?
CW.
No way they have that kind of pull.
It was
all of DC's stuff is going through CW. Yeah. All their television stuff is
cameo, if it happens at all.
But there's also a rumor that there is going to be a Birds of Prey spinoff as well, which would include Felicity from the Arrow and the Huntress and one other female character. I can't remember who's. I think it was Batgirl that was in the Birds of Prey.
So coming out of comicbookmovie.com, quoting the Daily Superhero, they're saying that last month it was revealed that DC were scouting convenience stores for a shoot, and that they've revealed that the scene filmed at the store will feature the Flash. Take that with a grain of salt.
The other one I'm interested in too.
Apparently he's seen on the store's security footage stopping a robbery. So it's a cameo in the truest form.
Yeah. But the other one that's interesting is the Netflix Marvel deal. They've already started filming the Daredevil, which is taking place actually in Hell's Kitchen in New York.
Okay.
And there's 3 other characters that are being developed along with him, and they're all going to come in together to be the Defenders from the Marvel Universe.
Huh. Awesome.
So it's going to, I think for anybody that's a comic book buff, lover, fan, geek, whatever, it's an interesting times, both movie-wise and also television-wise. It's great. I love it. I really do.
And it keeps David quiet. He just sits on his head.
Yeah. You guys are way out of my element. The comic book thing. I'm a total dork, but the comic books I didn't get into. I was into video games.
Okay.
I was into it too, man. I just recently got hold of all of 2000 AD, which is like a British comic that Judge Dredd came out of.
Oh.
And I'm after getting hold as well of all of the Rogue Trooper series and Strontium Dog and the whole lot. So I'm looking to sit down and have me some nice weekends.
Oh, that Judge Dredd is some of the best comic book writing, reading,
Dredd's
art.
Awesome. And I was, I had very, very few complaints about the Carl Urban Dredd.
I like that one. I really do.
It was a lot more in the feel of actual Dredd rather than the whole Sylvester Stallone.
Well, he never took off his helmet.
He never took off his helmet. The timeline seems a little bit mixed up because you have, Anderson is with him. She's still training. She's with him, but she shouldn't be with him until Magruder is Chief Justice. So it's a little bit hinky. The only big complaint I had about the Dredd movie was that the shoulder piece that he wears that has the big eagle on it, it's tiny. It's more like functional armor in the Dredd movie, whereas in the comic books it's always huge. It's a statement, but it was awesome. It's definitely well worth watching.
So other than getting a job this week, David, have you been doing anything fun and geeky that some people might be interested in? Did you find anything cool to play with? Anything that turned your geek crank?
I'm looking around to see if anything has been picked up. No, I've been, I haven't really got any gadgets or been even gaming for that matter. I've been playing a little Arma 3, but now I've been pretty unplugged.
Arma 3 Altis. That is, I want to talk about that just for a second. We'll close out the show with that.
Dude.
Huh?
Fuck you.
But I don't play it because I suck at playing Arma 3, period. I don't like the key controls or whatever. I tried playing Arma 2, but I failed. I just failed miserably. But I love watching you guys on Dizzy's channel playing Arma 3 Altis. Give people an idea of what Altis is.
Okay, so essentially they made a city out of what was, it was a city to begin with, in the sense that the map it's extremely detailed This is a staple of any Arma game, but the maps themselves are extremely detailed. So all they did was pretty much populate the existing city with roles where you can play as a cop or there's all sorts of things you can get involved with, be it, the drug trade or delivery missions or really whatever. And people just kind of role play on the server and get into trouble. It's pretty fun. So essentially we just ran heroin. And so we'd collect it at the field, take it to a processor, process it, take it to a dealer, sell it, all the while trying to avoid cops. So it was great training.
For your future life.
I will put in the show notes the link to Dizzy's YouTube where you give the best confrontation with cops that I've ever seen.
Confrontation as in just being a total dick to this guy because he's arresting me. And he was totally in the right. Let me just start by saying this, but I'm giving him a hard time anyway because it's fun. But pretty much I stole his truck and tried to run him and his cop buddies over. Those freaking pigs. So I tried to run them all over and he pulled me out and arrested me and shot a couple other people. So I'm just giving him shit the whole time because I'm like, F the police, that kind of thing. So I was having some fun with it.
It's hilarious to watch. It absolutely is. All of those Altus YouTube videos are hilarious to watch. Paul.
Oh, one more thing. Oh. The new Alien game, Isolation, is shaping up to actually not suck. So that is one to keep an eye on, especially I am a huge Alien fan.
Apparently there's a DLC coming, and there's some bitchiness about it because it's going to be a special offer only for certain countries or certain, consoles or whatever. But they've got all the original actors back voicing the characters in the DLC.
And so you can play so it's the original survivors from the Nostromo. So you can play as Ripley, Dallas, or Parker.
Yeah, I think so.
It's Parker. And so they have all the original people voicing it, and it just I'm hoping they make it scary.
It's game over.
I hope so.
And on that note, Paul, you got any goodies for the folks?
For anybody putting together a podcast kit or any sort of audio stuff, or anybody who just happens to have a laptop that has rather shitty audio and is looking for some more decent output and input options, try picking up the Behringer UAC 222. It is a $30 device, connects by USB, gives you input and output from your laptop. Great if you're hooking up to a standard mixer and you just want to be able to do mix minus from your laptop for like Skype calls or anything like that. But also it gives really, really decent sound, better than what most, built-in chips on most laptops will do if you start playing your audio through it and you want to pump it out. And it's dirt cheap,
I definitely second, third, and fourth that. That's huge. It's a nice piece of tech. I have a slightly different one, but that is a nice piece.
I've used the UAC 200 and the UAC 202 previously. The 222 is an improvement in the fact that it has headphones out for monitoring, and it also has an optical out as well, and you can control the volume there for monitoring directly from the device. So, if you're using it to input and output any sort of stuff, say, into your laptop, if you don't have a mixer and you're doing some podcasting or something like that, you can monitor it that way. The only thing I will say about the 222 is that the audio out, the resistance is not really set for your ordinary earbuds. You'll want to be using a decent set of stereo headphones with it. But that's only for the, for the monitoring audio out on it. Anything else is, everything else on it is absolutely top notch. At $30, you can't really argue with it, Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, that's our PSA, both Arma 3 Altus and Behringer kit for podcasters.
UAC 222. Well, it's just a piece of it.
Yeah, just a piece of it. But on that note, folks, we will call this show to an end. We've had another great conversation. We will be back again. But from Paul, David, and myself, remember one thing. As you head into the weekend, keep it geek. You have been listening to the Geek Dimensions On Air podcast with Stephen Hodson, Paul O'Flaherty, and David Gall. You can send any feedback about this or any of our other episodes to feedback@geekdimensions.com or by leaving a comment on the post. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus as Geek Dimensions. If you want to subscribe to the show, you can find it on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, and podcastpd.org, or you can use our RSS feed for the show. The music used in the show is Metro by Sleek Thief. The On Air podcast is the official podcast of Geek Dimensions and everyone living a geek's life.